Hey, thanks for having me. I'm David. I'm actually CEO of Valerie, which is the core contributor to Olas, and I'll walk you through what we do. Olas has been around for some time. So actually, before I co-founded Valerie, which launched Olas, I worked at Fetch. So starting in 2019, I started building AI agents. And at the time, that meant something very different than today. And Olas itself has pivoted a couple of times. So if you're curious about the story behind Olas, we actually have a nice timeline that gives you an overview of that. Now, what is Olas about? Why do I put my time into Olas every single day together with the team? We ultimately think that it's very important for consumers and businesses to be able to own their AI or co-own it, depending on the use case. And what this means is that you really take control of your agent. We'll come back to what this means in technical terms in a little bit and what it means in terms of the product. We also recently started introducing a product which lets other teams monetize their agents in the Olas ecosystem. So I'll talk about that today a little bit as well. So here, I'm trying to pick apart what I mean by this co-ownership piece. Obviously, all of us in this room will have heard of the first line, like in crypto, you own your keys to own your coins. And that's really a key, I think, belief for most people in the ecosystem. And increasingly now in AI, you have people who say the second, which is own your weights to own your artificial brain, right? If you think about what a large language model is, ultimately all its power comes from the weights. And so if you effectively rely on a third party to offer you this as a product, that works great in many contexts, but you are not in full control of your destiny. And that matters for both consumers and businesses, as we'll see in a second. And then finally, in open source software, you've had for a long time this belief that if you don't own your code, you don't own your destiny. So really what we mean by co-owned AI in one way is that it's a combination of these three things. And our products really make credit to that statement. So how do we do that? Well, for the end user, the consumers, we have a product that's all about giving you useful AI agents that can complement your life in different domains, currently prediction markets, DeFi, and a social agent use case. And our consumers access these products, these agents, via an app called Pearl. So Pearl, the mental model you can have is that it's an AI agent app store through which you can access your own agents. It's a local application, so you can host it on your machine. It can be your laptop, it can be your desktop. Eventually, we also hope to bring it to mobile. And you self-custody not just the wallet that holds your funds, the wallet of the agents, but also the agent itself. And that allows us to build very interesting products. I'll cover one of them later that's particularly relevant for this audience. For businesses, we found as we were building Pearl that in order to give you an agent that you can fully own, that agent is ultimately always limited by the resources that you can make available to the agent. So on the one hand, the wallet, and then on the other hand, the compute resources, right? Your device or wherever you're hosting it. And so that's one reason why agents tend to require other agents to get useful stuff done. Another is that more broadly, the industry is finding as they're building AI agents, that specialization with AI agents is as much a thing as it is with human societies, right? So actually, if you want to build really good agentic systems, you tend to find that it helps to build them as multi-agent systems. And so as we were building Pearl, we realized, actually, we need all these agents that run, quote unquote, in the background, that serve the user's agents. right? And that's where the marketplace comes in. So initially, we bootstrapped it from our own usage, and Pearl users basically automatically became users of the marketplace. And now we're in a process of making that a publicly available product to third parties. For the technical people in the room who have heard of things like MCP from Anthropic or A2A, the agent-to-agent communication protocol from Google, they're both relevant pieces of that puzzle on the protocol side. And then for those who have heard of things like X402 or H402, the standards around agentic payments that are emerging, or web payments historically, that's also something we're incorporating here. Now, we do have a token, and it sits at the center of this. I don't want to go too long into it. You can learn about it on the website. But it is a pure utility token. In order to access all the benefits of Pearl, you hold it, and then as a result, you're able to unlock the capabilities of the AI Agent App Store. Now, this isn't just some theory, it is live. We have different use cases that I outlined before, the prediction market use case, the DeFi use case under the heading Baby Degen. We'll dive into this in a second more, and the agents.fun use case, which is a social agent use case. We also have these agents that offer services on the marketplace. We cluster them under a different term called MEC. And so as a result, we already have a number of what we call agent economies that interlink, right? So the agents in the prediction markets use the MECs, and as a result, we have these agent-to-agent transactions of which you can find the metrics on our site, and that was a snapshot taken the other day. So over 5 million times agents in the Olas ecosystem have already transacted with other agents to get useful stuff done for their users. We are currently deployed on 9 chains, and the protocol as a whole is designed as this kind of cross-chain protocol. So we don't have our own chain. We just bring that utility of user-owned agents and your ability to monetize those agents to these different chains. So if you're a chain ecosystem who would like to explore that, come talk to me. Now, obviously, in order for agents to be useful, we need to know whether they are. So here, I give you some information around one of our Baby Degen agents. So Baby Degen is the product line. As the name suggests, it's an agent that's learning to be a degen. It is basically a fully autonomous AI agent that you self-host and self-custody locally, and that invests capital on your behalf. So the way this works, you'll see in a moment, but what's key is that Optimus actually works. So this is data from when I took the snapshot a couple days ago. Again, you can find all this data on our site in terms of performance. And if you want to learn more about Optimus, I'll just give a quick primer. Yesterday, we had Agents Unleashed, which is our premier crypto event with over 800 attendees in Cannes. We will have recordings of those, and we even have a podcast, so do go to olas.network to find more information on that if you're curious, or come talk to me. So one thing I want to point out that's very unique about Optimus and really gets at the UX that we want to enable is that these agents combine the capabilities of a co-pilot with that of an autonomous agent. So both co-pilots and autonomous AI agents are sort of under the subset of AI agents. So they kind of take input from the environment, act on the environment, and strategically achieve an objective. All of you will have used the co-pilot, I imagine, which is ChatGPT is one. You might have used coding agent, other kind of agents. And here we have this mode on the left-hand side where the user engages with the agent itself in this co-pilot model. So the user will have a conversation with Optimus about what their goals are in terms of investing their crypto asset that they delegated to the agent. And then in step 2, in the background, the agent itself goes to work, right? It has gotten that context from the user, and it will then use that to accordingly deploy their capital. Again, if you want to learn more about this, come talk to me later. If you are interested in bringing agents into Pearl, we have a whole grant system. So far, 7 teams are in this, building towards this milestone. Another opportunity for people wanting to bring agents to the ecosystem. And with that, I leave you. Please do follow me, and thank you for your time.